It was a 4.2 magnitude quake that hit just before 11 a.m.
Earthquakes hit parts of the Bay Area tonight around 8:30 p.m. The USGS says a 2.9 magnitude quake.
The people of California are used to dealing with earthquakes, but the recent earthquake in California has left people in shock. It started with a low rumble, but within seconds the ground was shaking violently. People looked around in panic, not knowing what to do. Buildings swayed and windows shattered, sending shards of glass flying through the air. The earth beneath their feet was splitting open, swallowing up cars and trees. It was as if the world was coming to an end. How drastic and intensified is the earthquake? What damages has it caused? How do earthquakes come by in California? Join us as we delve into the terrifying earthquake that just happened and the history of earthquakes in California. A terrifying earthquake shook a wide area of California. A minor but terrifying earthquake has again struck Southern California, but no significant damage or injuries were reported. The tremor was light, but many people in the region felt it. This is not the first time Southern California has experienced earthquakes. Experts say more are likely to occur. While this tremor was small, it serves as a reminder that the region is prone to seismic activity. The 4.2 magnitude earthquake struck near Little Creek in Southern California. The earthquake was not strong enough to cause serious damage, but it did cause shaking in the area. As the first shockwave hit, people were caught off guard and taken by surprise. Within moments, the sky turned a terrifying shade of red as clouds of dust billowed into the air, blocking out the sun. People started to panic, trying to make sense of what was happening. All around them, buildings were falling and roads were splitting apart. It was as if the world was ending, and nothing would ever be the same again. Michael Guardado, who works at a nearby ranger station, reported that the building shook hard. While the earthquake was not a major event, it is a reminder that the area is at risk for earthquakes. After the earthquake struck, officials were assessing the damage it caused. A bartender at a local restaurant, Carrie Torgeson, said the earthquake was powerful and felt like a hard boom and shake. She and others in the area are used to earthquakes, but this event was particularly strong. No injuries were reported, but falling rocks impacted some roads. The earthquake was strong enough to knock down a decorative glass mushroom and cause a jar of instant coffee to fall off a shelf. No one was injured, but some people in the building said they didn't have time to take cover. In downtown Los Angeles, about 50 miles away, the shaking was milder but still noticeable. People in surrounding counties and cities also reported feeling the tremor. The Los Angeles Fire Department and San Bernardino County Fire Authorities did not report any injuries or damage to buildings or infrastructure following the earthquake. The U.S. Geological Survey said the earthquake was centered near Cajon Pass, where two major faults come together. Lucy Jones, a seismologist, reported that the area had witnessed a magnitude 5.2 earthquake in 1970 with a 4.0 foreshock. The Shake Alert system, designed to detect an earthquake with an estimated magnitude of the current earthquake above 4.5, sends alerts to areas where the earthquake is expected to cause significant shaking. The alerts are sent out within seconds of the earthquake, giving people time to protect themselves from the shaking. The system has been in development for many years and has undergone extensive testing. It is still in beta testing, and improvements are being made to make it more accurate and reliable. Before the recent earthquake outbreak in California, on December 20th, 2022, a magnitude 6.4 earthquake struck Northern California early on Tuesday morning, killing 2 people and injuring about 12 others. The quake caused damage to infrastructure, including power outages that impacted tens of thousands of homes and businesses. The region has not experienced such a powerful earthquake in years, and many people are still reeling from the devastation. With the cleanup and rebuilding efforts underway, it was clear that the region has a long road to recovery. Based on the record, 2 people died as a result of medical emergencies during and shortly after the 6.4 magnitude earthquake that struck Humboldt County in Northern California on Tuesday. Following this tragic news, a local emergency was declared by Humboldt County Sheriff William Hansel, and California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a state of emergency to support emergency response. The earthquake caused widespread damage in the region, and the community is still staggering from the impact. The U.S. Geological Survey reported that the 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Ferndale, California at 2:34 a.m. Pacific time. The earthquake was centered in Pacific Ocean waters, about 7.5 miles west of Ferndale, at a depth of over 16 miles. The city of Ferndale is located about 19 miles south of Eureka, California. In the aftermath of the earthquake, officials closed one bridge leading into Ferndale that was damaged by the shaking. The U.S. Geological Survey also warned of many aftershocks in the area, including some that could be magnitude 4 or higher. On their website, the USGS listed over 80 aftershocks in the area, most of which were less than magnitude 4. The earthquake has caused damage in the area, and officials are working to assess the full extent of the damage. Ferndale is one of the most seismically active areas in the country, with many active fault lines in the region. The region is also prone to landslides and liquefaction. California earthquake history. The earliest documented earthquake in California was on July 28, 1769. Spanish explorers led by Gaspar de Portola were charting a land route from San Diego to Monterey when a powerful earthquake struck them. The explorers were camped along the Santa Ana River at the time, and they noted that the ground shook violently and that trees swayed in the wind. The expedition members were frightened, but fortunately, there were no casualties or major damage. This was the first of many earthquakes that have been recorded in California. By comparing the descriptions of the 1769 earthquake with other documented events, we can estimate that it was likely a moderate to strong earthquake, possibly around magnitude 5 or greater. Some expedition members noted that the shaking continued for several days, suggesting there were aftershocks. Using this information, we can infer that the 1769 earthquake was similar in strength to the 1933 Long Beach or 1987 Whittier Narrows earthquakes. Even though there were no reports of major damage, the experience left the explorers shaken and fearful of what might happen next. California experiences many earthquakes each day, with the majority being too small to cause damage. Despite this, several moderate to major earthquakes throughout California's history have been notable due to their destruction and societal effects. These include the 1868 Hayward Fault earthquake, the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, and the 1994 Northridge earthquake. Some recent notable earthquakes in California. On December 20th, 2022, an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.4 occurred around the North Coast area of Humboldt County, with death records of 2 and 17 injury records. On July 5th, 2019, an earthquake occurred around the eastern area of Ridgecrest, with a magnitude of 7.1. There is no death record, but a total damage of $5.3 billion was recorded with 5 injuries. This was after the same tragic earthquake was recorded a day before, on July 4th, 2019, with a magnitude of 6.4, 1 death record, and 20 injuries. On August 24th, 2014, in the North Bay area of South Napa, an earthquake of 6.0 magnitude was recorded with a record of 1 death and over 200 injuries. The estimated damage cost was around $362 million to $1 billion, with few injuries and no deaths, but an estimated damage of $10.8 million. Another earthquake of 5.1 magnitude was recorded around the LA area of La Habra on March 28, 2014. On April 4, 2010, in Baja California, an earthquake of 7.2 magnitude was recorded. It recorded the death of 2 to 4 persons with 100 to 233 injuries and estimated the damage cost of $1.15 billion. Also, on January 9, 2010, in the North Coast area of Eureka, a 6.5 magnitude earthquake occurred. With 35 records of injuries, it was recorded of $21.8 to $43 million in damage. On March 29, 2008, a 5.4 magnitude earthquake erupted in the LA area of Chino Hills. With limited damage caused, it has 8 injured persons on record. Also, on October 30th, 2007, in the Bay Area of Alum Rock, an earthquake of 5.6 magnitudes occurred with limited damage. In the Central Coast area of San Simeon, on December 22, 2003, there was a 6.6 magnitude earthquake with records of 2 deaths, 40 injured persons, and damage of $250 to $300 million. On September 3, 2000, the North Bay area of Yountville experienced a 5.0 magnitude earthquake with 41 injuries and $10 to $50 million damage on records. On October 16, 1999, the eastern area of Hector Mine also experienced a tragic 7.1 magnitude earthquake, but with limited damage and 4 to 5 injured persons. On January 17, 1994, an earthquake erupted around the LA area of Northridge. The earthquake was 6.7 magnitude with a death toll of 57, over 8,700 injured persons, and a damage record of $13 to $40 billion. On the same day, June 28, 1992, the Inland Empire of Big Bear and Landers recorded earthquakes of 6.5 and 7.3 magnitudes respectively, with 3 death rolls, over 463 approximated injured persons, and a damage cost of more than $152 million. Also in 1992, on the 22nd, 25th, and 26th day of April, in the areas of the Inland Empire and north coast of Joshua Tree and Cape Mendocino, there were triggered earthquakes of 6.3, 7.2, 6.5, and 6.6 magnitudes from the 22nd day to the 26th day, with 2 recorded earthquakes on the 26th, too. The occurrence recorded approximated no death roll, 486 injured persons, and some light to moderate $48 to $75 million damage. On June 28, 1991, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake broke out in the LA area of Sierra Madre. The outbreak recorded 2 deaths, 207 injuries, and $34 to $40 million damage. In the LA area of Upland, there was an outbreak of a 5.7 magnitude earthquake, with records of 30 injuries and damage of $12.7 million. This happened on February 28, 1990. Let's look at the major impacts of the 1989 earthquake in the state of California. The 1989 earthquake, magnitude 6.9, occurred in the Bay Area. It caused structural damage to buildings and cracked roads and knocked out power for thousands of people. The shaking also caused damage to the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, which caused a traffic jam that lasted for hours. There were also reports of panic and fear among residents. Some people were stranded on the Bay Bridge, unable to get home. In the days following the earthquake, there were aftershocks and warnings of potential tsunami activity. The earthquake killed about 67 people and caused more than $5 billion in damages. Despite the massive scale of the disaster, the death toll from the San Francisco-Oakland earthquake, also known as the Loma Prieta earthquake, was relatively low. The quake was one of the most powerful to strike a densely populated area of the United States, but the loss of life was relatively small thanks to the strong building codes and disaster planning that had been put in place. The quake was given its name because it was centered near Loma Prieta Peak in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Our thoughts are with the people of California for their tragic experiences due to the recent earthquake. However, having something warm and comforting to wrap yourself up in times of trouble is important. With that in mind, we're offering our Cosmos Lab pullover hoodie at a discounted price. It's soft, cozy, and perfect for chilly nights. Most importantly, it's a reminder that even when times are tough, we can all find comfort and warmth in the little things. Please know that we're thinking of you and wishing you all the best during this difficult time. Click on the link below in the description for more info. Thank you for watching. While you are still here, click on the like and subscription buttons for access to more videos like this one. See you soon.